Okay, we're going to do the pledge and start the meeting. Pledge allegiance, flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which.
Trustee Fritchie,
Present.
Trustee Casada,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Lopez,
Here.
and Mayor Levin.
Here, good evening, everyone. This is our last legislative session of 2024. Very exciting moment for us.
Ma'am, we have a public hearing.
Oh, I was going to do some announcements first. You want to do the public hearing? Okay, let's stay on format. Let's do
Yeah.
public hearing.
Okay, this evening we have a public hearing in the matter of a proposed law 2024 entitled A Local Law Amending Chapter 270 Zoning, Section 270-17C, P-O, Professional Office District, Conditional Uses for the Village of Austin Code. Is there anyone in our virtual world that would like to speak on this public hearing? Please raise your virtual hand if you do. Okay. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So move. Second.
Any comments?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Here are announcements.
Okay, so that closes the public hearing. So we have a few announcements. First of all, as I started to say, it is the last legislative session of the year. It always comes upon, at least for me, very quickly, and I forget that we're in December half the time. So happy holidays to everybody, including everybody here. Do celebrate the last meeting because it's a big accomplishment to go through the whole year and get a lot of work done. So my next mayor message is going to have sort of a recap of the year, some of the things that we've done, legislative pieces that we passed, etc. That'll be the final message, and it'll come out Monday because of the holiday week. And so that's one announcement. The second one is I actually had been invited with a couple of hundred mayors from around the country, many large cities, many small communities from, I think they said, that almost every state was represented. That's my guess. A lot of folks from the Midwest I rarely get to see, and the topic was how to combat anti-Semitism in different municipalities of different size. And it was just super interesting because most of the topics are really about racism at large, not just anti-Semitism. So super interesting topic. I got to say a few words and got to meet with the mayor of Beverly Hills, got to meet with the mayor from Florida, who are quite different individuals politically and in every other way. And really got to meet some folks from the Midwest that I otherwise would never meet who have communities that span tens and hundreds of miles with 20, 30, 40, 70,000 people, just totally different environments. A lot of their issues are around development and universities. Everything's just different. And this country's a big country. So super exciting, super fun. Learned a lot. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to contact me on my email or call me. Happy to discuss. And the next topic, nobody has announcements, right? Okay, just double checking. So the next thing is that we do want to say a few words to our friend and outgoing trustee Manny Casada. And Manny has been here 12 to 13 years. How do you count it? I say 12, but others have said 13, so because you took 1 year off in that. And I'm thinking that this may not be your final stay with us, so I don't know. We did a big farewell a couple of years ago, and then we had to do a big hello. So I'm going to just leave that door open. So we're very happy to do so. So as you know, there's a number of events tonight, Manny, but I got some texts which I will be reading. Not my forte, because, I usually speak from the heart. It's not my forte to be reading, but I'm going to do it anyway. So Thomasina Laley Brown, who is a longtime member of this community, wanted you to know that she is really grateful for everything that you've done in this community. She's especially grateful for the work and heart and work that you gave when Ryan passed. And from her family to yours, everything but love and gratitude. And she said it doesn't even matter that she didn't always agree with you. So that was sort of the comment I got from there. And I also wanted to let you know, hello, I'm good, thank you. Do you need help? You're good? All right. Oh, no problem. I just thought you might need help. Okay. So I wanted to share that with you. Victoria Garrity, former mayor, also sends her regards. There is a committee meeting. That one, sorry. So, also wanted you to know that she's so appreciative of the years that you spent together. Again, I think the common theme will be not everyone agrees with everything, but I actually think my favorite part about, I know everybody says electeds. I happen to be very proud of being in politics. I think everyone should be because I think it changes the way the world functions. So she did talk to me about, the differences of opinions, but that it just made it a lot better. There was a lot of change made during her administration that could not have been done without you, and a lot of things that you didn't want getting done, and you were right. So she didn't say that. I'm adding that on. I remember serving with you. Bob DeRio wrote to me. Give me a minute, please. I want to get this right. So Bob had talked about how the best thing that ever happened to him, and this is a quote, the best thing that ever happened to me was meeting Manny Casado when he was introduced to me by Mayor Hanauer. And I know that you're very close. I know Bob DeRio, for those of you that don't know, served for many years as a trustee, and he's just very involved in this community all the way around. All these people are. They're all civic-minded individuals who've been highly involved in what they're doing. For my part, open mind, because I actually want to read it. And I'm going to have other people say a couple of things, but I just wanted to tell you that it was always a pleasure. I think you may have been one of the first people I met when I ran. First, I got appointed by Victoria Garrity, and you were involved in that whole process. We always bonded over the fact that we're both immigrants that didn't speak English at a young age and had to learn the language. Each of us with our own families, surrounded by love and by family, but growing up in a host country is never easy for anybody, regardless of where they come from. And I think we always bonded over the fact that how hard it is to learn a new language and a new culture and be part of a community, and then to sort of get involved in its leadership of a community that you grew up. I didn't grow up here. You've spent most of your life here, and you were very helpful to me when I started, teaching me how to do the minutes, why we look at minutes, why we look at all the accounting, why we have to keep our eyes on Dale, specifically, the police, and all of the other pieces that, as we've all said, there is actually no book, contrary to what people think, that tells you how to be a mayor or a trustee or a member of public civil service. A member of just serving the public. You sort of learn a lot of it as you go, and you learn from others. And Manny, you were, I think, the most helpful. You never saw me as a threat to run against you. You didn't close doors. On the contrary, you really opened lots and lots of doors. And I'm very grateful for everything that you've done. I do expect to see you back in some public office, even though you don't think you will be. I'm going to put a little bit of money that, and others will too, that you'll take a year off, you'll figure it out, you'll come back. I'm going to read something in a minute because I'm trying to find it. But if there's anybody else here that just wants to say a few words, I think it's worth taking a moment out of our the first few minutes of our last meeting, because I'm just amazingly grateful. Mark sends his regards as well. I did speak to Fern earlier. I was hoping she'd come in with your daughter for no other reason but to say this, that so many of us who do this, as Manny has said 100 times, don't do it for the money. We really do it because we want to do this. And one of the things that happens is that it takes us away from our families a lot. I know how much you enjoy the girls, how much you enjoy being with your wife. And I think that's probably, in my opinion, one of the hardest things is being pulled away from our family. So thank Fern when you get home for being part of this whole shtick of serving the public. because our families do sacrifice a lot, not only on Wednesdays every week, but all the weekends and the evenings and the agita and being yelled at and being thanked and all of the other stuff that comes into our lives every single day because we don't get to rest. People come up to us all the time. I think you so thoroughly enjoy it that you may not take note of how much time you miss with your family, but we appreciate all of the time that you had to give up from your family time to be here, as do some of us that sit on the board as well. So if anybody wants to say a word, I'm just going to let you do that while I look up for mine. I'm going to,
You don't have
one
to.
more. So they don't have to, but we already talked about it before I sat down. Dana White also, by the way, sends regards. She's flying back right now as we're speaking, and wanted to thank you for everything as well, and for really helping a lot of us get started as being the senior, not in age, but the senior person on the board. Some people do want to say a few words. It's not like I'm guessing here. Omar?
I'll go. Manuel, Trustee Quesada. When there have been two people in my life that have had a particular impact. One is when I was in college, there was this young lady that was a classmate of mine. And at that time, we were all trying to figure out how to have the most amount of fun and also be successful academically. And she was the first person that I met that was really taking school seriously. And the way that she did it was she was studying to be a social studies teacher, and she would save these articles and memorabilia and all these different artifacts for her future classroom. And I was like, wow, you really care about this. You really want to do well. Even when no one knows that you're doing this, but I saw that she really cared, and that really stuck with me because she just wasn't trying to play the game like the rest of us. She was in it for real. The second person is you. The number of people that I've met in this game of politics that are smart and caring, but also have one eye toward what's the next thing, it's not a few, it's a lot. And oftentimes the question about how should I act is in relation to how's it going to impact me politically, because I have my eye toward some other things. You watch meeting after meeting on your phone, on your own, because you care. You are always looking at the vouchers because you care. You show up week after week, not looking for fame or glory or recognition, but you raise your hand and you say, I have a question. And it's one of the things that has stuck with me because as I look around, village, town, county, state, federal, it's not common. And I appreciate it. And so for your decade plus of service, it's been hundreds of meetings. We've replaced the chairs because you've worn them in. You've really done what few people can do, which is demonstrate your values with your actions. So thank you for your service to the village of Ossining. May it continue in all its forms.
Where do I start? We've known each other since 2011, right?
Yep.
We ran against each other,
Correct.
and that was when there was all these Roberts that I didn't know your name was Robert.
That is correct.
But we came back. We were 5 years together, sitting next to you for 5 years. It's been educational. We've not always gotten along, whether it's issues at the board, whatever it is. But we went through it to do what's best for the village. And picked up on things that how you approach things, to where I sit back instead of just approaching it. And just taking that line of how you operate has helped me as a board member. And I consider us friends. I think we'll always be friends. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Whatever you do, who knows? Maybe I'll see you back. We'll see. But thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you.
This is the unrehearsed part, but I want to say something.
Just want to say thank you for your service to the community. We've known each other for many years with this whole political gamut that we run, and just thank you for everything that you've done.
No pressure, but I just know that some people said, no pressure. Some people said they wanted to.
have to.
I just don't know how much.
I mean, the airtime is free, so we'll use it up. Manny, whether it's been a dozen years or a baker's dozen, but having been in law enforcement in this community for just over 20 years, you've been a part of the village board for half of my career, literally. And you've always been a friend to the department, always been there to offer guidance, lend your ear, offer support. And the village trustees and the mayor, everyone has a tough job, and it's very gratifying, and it comes with a lot of good times. But what a lot of people don't see is that it's a very thankless job at times, and not everyone gets to see that end of it. But having firsthand knowledge of what goes on in this village for over 20 years now, I just want to say thank you, and job well done. Wishing you all the best in your future endeavors.
I don't know if Dale want to because I didn't hear back. Dale, I just didn't hear back, so I don't remember.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I would definitely like to take a moment to thank Manuel for your absolutely dedicated interest in everything presented to the board, including all those finite details behind everything that's presented. You always have great suggestions along the way. And of course, I can't leave out your countless hours for the voucher detail reports. I thank you for that. I loved every question. Well, maybe not every, but most of the questions you presented, and your insight, because as we look at it, all day long, it's great to get that perspective from the board side, looking at it inwards. So over 12 years, you would have looked at 288 voucher detail reports. So I thank you very much for your service and your dedication, and look forward to speaking with you on anything you have questions on in the future. Thank you.
Anybody else? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll just quickly. Hi, good
Okay.
evening. I don't have any stats, and I don't have anything nearly as poetic as some of my colleagues here. But I think that Trustee Casada has been in this arena for probably as long as me, because I remember you were one of the first people I met too. I've been in Ossining an awfully long time, but working in Ossining, you were one of the first people I met. And obviously, everything that everyone else said is very true, and I echo it. So I won't belabor the point, but thank you for your service to this community. The word dedication is I think exactly the right one. So thank you, Dale, for letting me plagiarize.
So I'm going to give you a preview of what I will be doing publicly more than once. So just a tasting of it. And this is something I wrote down because I just wanted to make sure I captured you beyond my personal feelings about how wonderful you've been as a mentor, as a teacher, and as a colleague. Trustee Casada served the village of Ossining and its residents with distinction, dedication, and unwavering commitment for more than 12 years. During this time, Trustee Casada has worked tirelessly to uphold the principles of good governance, ensuring that the voices of all of the people of Ossining are heard and respected in the decisions that shape our community. He has championed policies and initiatives that have enhanced the quality of life in Ossining, promoted equity, sustainability, and inclusion, and fostered a stronger, more united community. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Go. Most notably, for me as mayor, we have a very large Ecuadorian community. His insights into that area of our community not only has benefited all of us for the past dozen years, it will benefit many of us for the next dozen years at least. And that has been tremendously helpful to every single person sitting on the board. It is the prize of being a member of a diverse community, to have people like you, and frankly, your family. Your work on the Landlord-Tenant Committee, your work in the parks, your work with the Ethics Board, which we didn't really have, that you and I worked on. The landlord-tenant was highly complex in setting that up, so I mentioned it, but I want to mention the complexity of it, along with some of the other committees that until a few years ago were nascent at best. And so I thank you for all of that as well. And I think the entire community owes you a debt of gratitude. Thank you.
Thank
You.
Now me.
Only if you want to. No pressure.
I think you're forgetting some people here, so
Oh,
I'm not
I thought we were
sure.
done. And I did not get texts from people.
I didn't get a text from you,
Oh.
so but
I
with
checked you
no
out.
text
I apologize.
necessary. But I do certainly want to say thank you, Trustee Casada. I think what the deputy mayor said is notable and remarkable. It is rare to have people who are engaged to the level that you are in a way that I don't think people fully appreciate, because that really is the essence of democracy. It's how you learn. It's how you better understand the limitations of bureaucracy and make it work better for the people in your community. And I want to thank you for all of that diligence and hard work and attention that you paid to. And I appreciate it greatly. And we thank you for your service. And we wish you well now that you're part of the team. So we wish you very well. And we know, as you have said many times, we will continue to see and hear from you. And I hope that's true.
Okay, did I cover everybody? Sorry about that. I know I sent one to Sue, so I must have. Oh, I did forget. Liz Feldman also had wanted me to thank you. I don't want to be redundant, but she just wanted to make sure that you knew that she was thinking of you and she's very appreciative. That's what reminded me who I said.
Thank you, Rick.
If you will have any words, if not. Oh.
That's okay. I'm used to it by now, been doing that for a couple of years, so it's all right. You know, I want to thank everyone that is actually here and is not here as well. My wife did want it to come, and I told her no. Few reasons. I just didn't want to go through another one of a couple years back. It won't be fair for her, but I do want to thank my wife, my family, for all the support that they have given me all through all these years. Just to say one quick thing to my little one, to Lily, is that don't worry about it, sweetie. I'll find something to do on Wednesdays so you can still have your mommy and daughter night. So most likely going out in the basement watching something. Probably this meeting. He probably will. I do want to say thank you to everyone that through the years that I have met, if moment they have been in my life. One of the things that I guess that I always saw myself, even though I'm involved in politics, I always saw myself as a public servant. Because we are elected to serve the people. One of the things, I think I have achieved a lot of my goals in life. I still have some goals to achieve, personal stuff that I'm going to concentrate in maybe in the next year or 2 years to achieve a now level. And I'm always going to be involved. No matter what I do, I think being part of the village of Ossining, or Ossining itself is helpful for many reasons. And one of the things, the caveat, I encourage every single resident, please be involved on any level that you. This board needs the feedback. We serve you. So please be involved. That being said, and I really didn't practice anything. And I hate speeches, and that's one of the things that I hate the most is doing this public outreach in a way or talking to the public. I rather do work for the public. But I do want to say thank you to Thomasina. I want to say thank you to Bill Hanauer. I want to say thank you to Bob DeRayo, who's definitely has become a part of my family, and vice versa. I want to thank everyone in this, Omar, Bob. So it was very interesting the way we met because you tried to pull that Democratic part at that point because you were running on the Republican line. And, at that time, I was a registered Republican myself. So it was vice versa at that time. So it was very interesting the way we kind of met the first time. So it's been a journey and a learning journey. I learned every day, and I tried to learn every day at least one thing. I want to thank OPD. Opened the when I had a lot of questions about policing. I didn't know anything about it. I just heard concerns from the residents. I got to do ride along, see what actually how our officers work with that community. Thank you for the hard work I've done. I want to thank you. I want to thank our fire department who does the most amazing work that a lot of people don't realize. I want to thank OBAC for all the stuff that they do. I want to thank Andy, Paul. I want to thank the DPW. I want to thank personnel office. Dell, you feel, I think you, and please don't say this to Tom, but you actually exceeded in a lot of different ways that Tom has that did in the past. And I love Tom. I wish him well with everything that he has done, his personal life. But you and your office and you has done an amazing job. Um, thank you for all that stuff. And hopefully the vouchers will kind of be able to rotate it at some point. So I'll be looking for that. I want to thank Karen for all the work that you have done for our village. I want to thank Stuart for all the laws that I think I lost count. How many are we at this year so far?
22.
22. I think we are 22.
That might be the most.
Yeah. So,
22 in the hearing tonight would be 23, but that'll
23.
go into 2025.
all right. So maybe we should make it a 24 at some point. So you can come up with something. We do a special meeting just for that. But I want to thank everyone that actually has, I don't want to say helped me, but has helped our community. Jamie, Maddie, everybody in the office and the clerks. Thank you, Sue, for all the stuff that you have done, not just for the town, but for the village as well. So I'm hoping I'm not missing any. But I do want to say a couple special thank yous. Some people actually that I didn't realize that are also retiring. Lisa is retiring after 30 years service in the village. So I want to say thank you for all the hard work and all the work that you have done helping us on the board at that level. Bobby from DPW, he's also sanitation. He's also retiring after 33 years of service. It's been a long journey. I want to say thank you to a very good friend of mine. Not about a year ago, she retired, Nancy. Thank you so much for all the help. I know you do like to watch our meetings as well. So probably we'll get together and we'll watch them together at some point. But thank you, Nancy, for all the work that you did for us. All the help and the guidance that you did when I had questions in regards to personnel. How do we do this? And you were helpful in that. And I want to say thank you to the community. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this board for the past 12 years. This has been home for me. And I'm not talking about this board in general. I'm talking about Austin. It has been home for me for the past 30 years, 33 years. And one of the things that I remember saying one of my inaugurations, it was that Austin opened the doors for me, but not just for me. Opened doors for my family, from a lot of people like me. And one of the things that I consider this is home. I may not have been born in this country, but this has become home for me. And one of the things that I learned when you are home, you want to help home to be better. How do you do that? Getting involved, learning the stuff that we need to do. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a change. That's okay. Give that opportunity. Someone gave me the opportunity to be here, to learn. So I just want to say thank you for that opportunity you gave me to be part of this past 12 years. As some people have said, you never know. Sometimes you do need to step back and take a break. And that's what I'm doing right now. Like I said before, I have a lot of personal stuff that I would like to accomplish that I put on hold many years ago. I want to get back to those things. So for now, I'm going to take a break. You may not see me here or may not see me sitting in those chairs, but I'll be watching. And one of the beauties of being here is that I have everybody's cell phone number, so and emails. And some of them I have their personal cell phone numbers. I won't use those just in case, but I will definitely be reaching out to, or if I see something that I question on any level. And as Omar very elegant put it, I love asking questions. So I want to say thank you. And one last thing, and I know a lot of, I have said goodbyes, and this is not a goodbye. This is just, I'll see you later. I'll see you next year. I want to say two more things. Happy holidays to everybody. To a happy new year. And I do want to set aside of all this stuff. I do want to say congratulations to someone that is a resident here in the village of Austin, not just Austin, but a resident from Austin, and that actually, as far as I can tell, being nominated to be the ambassador for Uruguay. So congratulations to Mr. Ronaldi on that position. That is something to be proud of. But congratulations to him as well. But thank you for your time on this. So thank you, Mayor, for that.
Thank you. Wonderful. Gonna miss you. So we can now go, I think, to the manager's report.
Yeah, administrative reports, village manager, Karen DeTord.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. So to start off, I have some land use appointments. I'd like to appoint Ethan Alter to the Historic Preservation Commission for an unexpired term ending December 31st, 2027. I'd also like to appoint Isaac Tahara to the Historic Preservation Commission as an alternate member. He had been formerly serving as a member, but an alternate member for a term ending 12/31/29. I'd also like to appoint Erica Mateus to the Zoning Board of Appeals as an alternate member for a term ending February 2nd, 2029, and Chris Asensio to the Zoning Board of Appeals as an alternate member for a term ending February 2nd, 2026. I am also reappointing Kyle Aberizik as the Zoning Board of Appeals Chair for a term ending February 2nd, 2029, and Michael Spall to the reappointing to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a term ending February 2nd, 2029. Our land use boards, the Planning Board, the Zoning Board, and the Historic Preservation Committee are now fully staffed with two alternates each. And I want a big shout out to the people who we had a lot of new people, a lot of people who are really interested in getting involved in Austin and excited about what's happening here, as well as several members who speak Spanish as either their first language or second language. So we really increased the breadth of diversity amongst these boards, and we're happy to have them all aboard. And wish them well, and I'm sure we will be in good hands as we go forward with our planning and zoning issues going forward. I'd also like to just do a bit of an abbreviated summary of 2024. Last last Friday, we had our annual end of year meeting and holiday lunch for staff, and 2024 was a big year. So we were able, the mayor, the town supervisor, and I were able to acknowledge the work that was done and just celebrate a little bit with our staff members. So just as a reminder, in 2024, we completed the upgrade of the Five Corner intersection. We completed the pool and locker room renovations, and we initiated two significant DRI projects: the multimodal transportation hub, also known as a parking structure. They were here last week, and we are getting ready to create the bid documents. It should go out to bid in early 2025. And by mid-2026, we should have a completed parking hub in the Brandreth lot. We're also in the process of generating designs for renovations to the Joseph G. Computer Community Center, which also will be well underway in 2025 and 26. And our largest project, which is largely unseen, really underscores Ostening's commitment to clean drinking water. And after many years of planning, we were able to break ground on the new Indian Brook water treatment plant in 2024. Tomorrow, Senator Pete Harcum will be holding a press conference at the construction site, urging the state to appropriate $600 million in clean water infrastructure in the 2025 state budget. We also did some things that really acknowledged our residents and made Ossining a little bit more fun and more attractive. We launched a military banner program honoring veterans who sacrificed for us, thanks to our historian, Joyce Rock Cole, and our Public Works Department. We held the first ever successful Haunted Kill Spooktacular, which featured our Sing Sing Kill and a lot of scary yet historical and educational stories about Ossining, with thanks to the Placemaking Committee and Westchester Collaborative Theater, and as well as our enthusiastic rec staff. And they do many free family events throughout the year, from everything from bubbles to hayrides to Jimmy Buffett. Our Youth Bureau programs continue to grow to benefit hundreds of youth in our community, and they proving that indeed our future is in good hands. Some really amazing young people getting more involved in local issues as well. So we're very happy about that. And we just completed the first stage of our Project Mover e-bike launch, and so far so good. We're excited to see the use of e-bikes increase as people get around town without relying on fossil fuels. And a big shout out to Maddie and Jamie for the enormous amount of work that went into getting that all together over the past several years. I'd also like to acknowledge the Ossining Police Department. They deserve significant recognition for their commitment to public safety and their ability to successfully navigate the challenges that this often presents. Thanks to them, we're able to enjoy a very high quality of life here in the village, in a community with many demands that are much more akin to that of a city. And like a city, as rents continue to rise and apartments become scarce, we hope that the addition of nearly 200 affordable housing units, all breaking ground in early 2025, will help ease that burden for people and make it easier for people to stay in Ossining and age in place affordably. As of early next year, we'll be breaking ground at the old DPW site, 30 Water Street, with 109 units of affordable housing, as well as retail space and community space. And on Croton Avenue, where the old Sunshine Nursery or Sun Valley Nursery we'll be building, or McQuestion will be building 74 affordable units for seniors in our community. I want to also acknowledge the fact that Ossining also benefits from the largest volunteer fire department in New York State, and what we've heard, possibly the world. And we want to congratulate Mike Scarduzio for all he has done as chief over the past 2 years, and welcome First Chief Luis Sanchez, and our Second Chief Tony Martinez, and Third Chief Joe Rinaldi, who will all be sworn in on January 1st. As we look to the future, we will mark 2025 as a transformational year for Ossining. As we break ground on the new parking structure, start renovations on the community center, and also execute the Route 9 road diet, which will narrow Route 9 to its pre-urban renewal state of one lane in each direction, making our village safer for automobiles and pedestrians alike. It's a lot going on, and we have more projects coming after that I will be reporting on in 2025 and into the future. I just want to acknowledge that none of this is possible without the work of village staff, the many volunteers that we have, the community that as a whole that supports these projects, and the dedicated leadership of the mayor and the board of trustees. Thank you all.
Corporation Counsel, Stuart Kahan.
Thank you. Thank you, Sue. Good evening, folks. At our monthly staff meeting today, the clerk announced, and I knew this just in advance, we docketed our 1,000th FOIL request. To put that in perspective, in 2021, we had 731. 2022, we had 732. 2023, we had 963. So we're on scale now probably to come in between 1,020, 1,025 before the year is up. Most of these FOILs are directed to the building and planning department and to the police department. Simply put, it is thousands and thousands of hours to respond to FOIL requests. Getting documents together, reviewing them, both from my end and from the folks who do it. But I do want to express my great thanks to everyone first in the clerk's office who gets all the letters out, but to all the other departments that have to do these responses. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. The types of FOIL requests we get are getting far more complicated, far lengthier, more periods of time. So it's important that we obviously keep very good track on our own records as to what we need to keep and what we don't need to keep. But, I get a report every week from Lori McDonald in the building department of where we are with that. I also get an active FOIL report. I must admit that I am probably the most delinquent on the active FOIL report, but that's how things go. But the fact of the matter is that literally with 1,000 FOIL requests, and I wouldn't even venture to guess how much, but even if you figured 2 hours of FOIL request, by itself, that's 2,000 hours. Some of them require from the police videos, body cams, records. So there's a great deal that are coming in. We get a large number of FOIL requests that are in Spanish, requesting police records. And we thank the clerk's office for translating them for us so that we know exactly what's being asked for. But a part of the village that most folks don't know about is just responding to that. We can't charge for it except in certain circumstances. So the fact of the matter is it's simply work that has to get done, and it does get done. We rarely fall behind in terms of getting things out. We rarely get appeals on FOIL requests, but I just did want the board to know that I kept saying we're coming close to 1,000. Well, we are now at 1,000. And as I said, I expect before the end of the year, probably another 20 to 25 to come in. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Police Chief Aaron Zimmerman.
Good evening, everybody. Congratulations again, Manny. So as we wrap up 2024 in the police world, I thought I'd shed some light on how you're up to really today is wrapped up for us as far as calls for service and things. So in 2024, putting today until about 3 this afternoon, we've responded or taken 34,353 calls for service. which if you compare that to the last 3-year average, it's up 18%. Out of those 34,000 plus calls for service, 1,129 cases are generated out of that, which are criminal calls for service that rise to the level of generating, reach the level of a crime. Comparative to the last 4 years, that's actually down 4.9% or roughly 5%, which is good, meaning we're going on more calls, less are generating actual crimes. The arrests total for the year to date is 656 arrests. Compare that to the last 3-year average, we're up 37% in arrests. DWI arrests are broken down into that category, and out of that 656 total arrests, this year we've made 114 DWI arrests, which if compare that to the past 3-year average, it's up 39%. Parking summonses were 16,618 parking summonses as of morning. Compared to the last 3-year average, that is down 20%, mainly because we are down a overnight parking enforcement officer, which that position we're looking to fill in the upcoming year. Vehicle and traffic summonses, regular traffic tickets, 5,862, up 34%, last 3-year average. Included in that number are aggravated unlicensed operator tickets, which are also arrestable offense. That's 234 AUO tickets, up 58% for the years. And village and town ordinance violations, right around 92 compared to last year is up 1, but last 3-year average are up 35% in that arena too. So, coming out of the COVID years of 19 and 20, 2023 actually being a banner year for productivity. Now, that in 2024, building on that average, numbers are obviously going in the right direction as far as we're concerned. Happy about that, and happy about all the hard work that all the men and women in the Austin Police Department are. On top of that, 2024, we've hired record 12 officers. That time frame since January 8th, here we've hired 12 officers, up from 2023 where we hired 7. So a considerable amount of hiring in the past 2 years alone. The only vacancies that were created this year, we had 2 retirements this year and 1 resignation. On a happier note, we have made some promotions this year. This year we promoted 1 lieutenant, 2 sergeants, 1 detective. We had 1 sergeant with a divisional reassignment going from the patrol division to running the detective division. Accomplishment. Looking forward into 2025, lieutenants and a sergeant, and hire an additional 4 police officers that were created through retirements and resignations. Also, we promoted a chief. Complaints, civilian complaints this year, low number, 5. 5 complaints of all from this year. That number has stayed static from last year. Last year, there were 5 complaints as well, all of which last year were unfounded. This year, the complaints so far have been unreviewable due to the majority of them being still pending court cases. Community events that we've taken place this year. The first time the OPD has ever experienced or taken part in the National Night Out. Worked together with the PRAC, and actually the school district was kind enough to host that event at the high school this year. Hopefully, I've said this before, but hopefully we don't get rained out this year in August when the date is supposed to be, and we don't have to push it. I'm also pushing for continued community engagement into 25. Department really maintaining its emphasis on and community engagement and community events as well. Obviously, being trend with hiring, recruitment forward. Kind of wraps everything up in a nutshell. Got 6 new cars that we just got. We're in the process of getting all put together, and hopefully we'll have them on the road soon. I hope everyone enjoys the holidays and has a happy and healthy new year.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chief. All sound great. A lot of work being done. Promotions, always like that. All for producing, move up the ranks, always a good thing. I'm glad the cars, those are the hybrids we were talking about?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep, they're all in.
so all good stuff. Appreciate it. Sue?
Okay, organizational announcements. Is there anyone that wishes to talk about an organizational announcement? Shall be event related only and shall not be longer than 2 minutes in length. Is there anyone present who'd like to talk about an organizational announcement? Is there anyone in our virtual world? Okay, moving on, public comment on agenda items. Visitors are accorded a 4-minute opportunity to address the board on one of the resolutions on the agenda. Anybody? The chief's comments?
Are the chief's comments part of, yeah, I think they actually, why not? Is that what you want to comment on? Okay, come on up. It's quite all right. Take your time.
And
You
just,
heard the rule. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sue.
please start with your name and address, sir.
My name's John Stolowski. I'm 55 Wildy Street in Tarrytown, New York. My parents, grandparents were all from Ossining, members of the Moose Lodge,
Oh.
and uncles and everything grew up here. I sit here and listen to how the productivity of the police department and the numbers of arrests, which kudos to them, obviously, with DWIs and stuff, getting them off the streets, nobody gets hurt, and keeping quality of life here in Austin great. I got a question, in reference to the police department, like obviously, Trustee Quesada, sir, you said that there was concerns, obviously, with the police department at one point, and you went for a ride along. I'm sure you got to see a lot of stuff that was a different attention getter for you compared to what you were told. This whole police department has been made up of people that you were sitting there as the board of trustees and mayor chose to hire. Obviously, if he has 12 hires in a year, you must have all been part of the hiring. As far as promotions, you guys all promoted people. So basically you made the police department. Congratulations. And they do a great job as far as I'm concerned. I got a question for you though. Obviously I was watching, the internet, and there was a section on there where there was an officer making an arrest, and the suspect was resisting arrest, not complying from what I saw. And it had a comment across the front of it said racist cop. And this was posted by a person from our town, in Tarrytown, saying shame on the badge. But the actual guy that posted it was a convicted arsonist saying shame on the badge. So obviously that's where that came from. But then what bothered me even most was that you had a reverend or pastor of one of your local churches, Pastor Jones, repost it and make comments about the officer reposting racist cop. Now, I got a little bit of a problem with that because I think that he posted his comments prior to knowing the facts. And obviously the facts are very important to any police officer in this town doing his job. We talk about being politically correct, and you brought that up, sir, Miss Trustee Lopez, about politically correct and just correct. We have to be correct, especially when it comes to stuff like people that are cops in this village that you actually hire to go out and perform work and duties to better the quality of life, especially around daycares. And we have to realize that, when somebody puts something down as a member of this community or actually a community leader, that his words have impact and could be very dangerous for law enforcement when it says racist cop across the page on the video of a person that's not complying, resisting arrest. And being a leader of this community should be bringing people together, not tearing them apart. So I give them credit for all they do, but I think that they also should have the full support of the board and the trustees, especially when somebody like that has a congregation behind them is making a comment and posting stuff that's still getting to this day, posts that say stuff about cops and this. I think anybody on this board and the trustees and the mayor would hate to be called a racist, a cokehead, crackhead. I mean, I think that this police department does a great job. And Mayor, I'm sorry if I'm speaking a little too long or off direction.
Sir, you have 30
But
seconds.
okay,
I
my
was looking
question.
over there only because we actually time it.
No, I'm sorry, but
No, it's
you know,
fine.
this is something where it has to just be taken care of and it should be known what kind of police department you have. And if somebody's doing their job and gets racist cop written across and his family has to look at that and everything else, you're talking about all the stuff that everybody does for their family and the time that you leave your house and the time away. Well, these guys put like, you know, gear on, get bullets could be shot at them tomorrow. And he got racist cop and he has to go out in his community, but people don't know the whole story and have to, you know, be part of the community with the racist cop on his back.
Sir, that's 4 minutes.
Okay, I'm good.
So, thank you. I just want to give you, first of all, thank you for coming in on such an awful rainy day. Appreciate your comments. It's, the purpose of the meeting is for people to come and tell us and give us input, which is exactly what you did, so very much appreciated. We don't generally do Q&A. That's not what
sorry.
it is. No, but you don't need to apologize. This,
I'm just
you know,
not
for
familiar
me,
with-
as Manny Casada said, a lot of it is education and people knowing. We appreciate you coming in. Members of this board and the supervisor and the chief and the captain have met with the reverend and other members of the community because that's actually also our job, right? Is appointing officers and listening to members, all members. I will tell you that there's nothing we can do about social media.
I understand.
You can call it anything you want. One of my favorite musicians, Lady Gaga, calls it the toilet bowl of our society. Other people find hearts for their dying children through the internet.
Mhm.
It really
I know
can
there's
do many
keyboard
things.
bullies, you know?
We don't control what people say. We do control our behavior. We do control our ability and our desire to speak to members, any members that want. If you have an issue with what people do say, some of those people are leaders, as you said. You can contact them directly and tell them how
Right.
you feel about it. And you can write to their church or to wherever they are and say that you don't appreciate it. For us, as public officials, I will tell you, we met with people and like you, we also received input from members of our community that felt the way you do. And we balance as much as we can. We appreciate you coming here tonight and sharing that. But we do want you to know that we actually do listen to the community, all members, and we do our best to promote all the good and deal with anything that is found to be not in such a good state. But freedom of speech and the internet, a little beyond our control.
There's a thing called freedom of speech, Mayor, and I you know, I could stand up for another 3 minutes, and I would like to do that, but I'd rather just stand there for 1 minute. Freedom of speech is great, and I think that the freedom of speech comes with the responsibility to act proper. And you know, I've watched the videos of the person that actually videotaped this, and if I play that in the mic right now, which I was gonna do, and I don't really want to do this to the public, the words he uses and the stuff that he said wouldn't be allowed in this mic. Yet our cops got to go out in the street and listen to this
No.
berate. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. You know, at what point is it going to be just that somebody's going to do something that's within reason, but they're not attorneys to sit there and play like the game that's being played? I mean, maybe a civil rights or an attorney should go on the street, and when he does cross the line, lock him up. There's been.
I'm not here to.
I get that, but I'm just saying,
I
in
know.
my eyes, from the outside looking in, I can't see how you're just letting this thing, you know,
But we don't.
roll into a snowball.
But we actually don't.
I understand.
And
They're not standing on the corner,
I appreciate
hanging out for no
everything you
reason
said.
at all, just because they're like crossing people to the daycare.
I appreciate everything. We did listen to community, and I have to tell you that when people called, people are very much aware of TikTok and the stuff that it spews out. People who follow the internet also understand when things are curated, when they're edited. That is why our meetings are not edited exactly for this person, for this reason. And I appreciate you coming in. I also don't want you to get as upset as you're getting. Do me a favor, like I don't want you.
I don't know you. You don't know me.
getting
I just
upset
know. I
like
can tell you
this.
one thing. I've been called a racist and all types of stuff for no reason. Proud Boy member, and we're in litigation with that right now because it went as far as to where I was an altar boy in my church. So I got a little hard in it, and I also got a heart when, you guys are up here as in God we trust. I understand, but they trust you guys, and these cops work for you, and you're the person that has on their backs every night. You should be on their minds of a leader, as regardless of if a mayor, trustees, whatever. It's all your employees. So I just think it's awful what we watch. I understand the Instagram thing is awful.
Listen, I'm going to now have to say, I appreciate it.
I'm gonna go. But
I'm hearing you.
I think that if that person did what he does to our cops in the street, that you guys would have a big problem with it in this room. Thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there
Is-
anyone else that would like to speak on an agenda item? Seeing no one, we'll move on to public visitor recognition. Visitors are accorded a 3-minute opportunity to address the board on issues not relating to the agenda but relevance to the common good of the village. Sir? No? Okay. Moving on to village board resolutions. Approval of minutes, December 4th, 2024. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Austin hereby approves the minutes of the December 4th, 2024 regular meeting as presented. Do I have a motion?
So
Somebody-
moved.
Second, anybody?
Second.
Okay. Sue?
All in favor?
Aye. Was
Abstain?
that? Were you not here?
Weeks ago? Correct.
One abstain.
Okay. So we still have 3 votes, though.
Yep, we're ready to go. Approval of voucher detail report, December 18th, 2024. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Ossining hereby approves the voucher detail report dated December 18th, 2024 in the amount of $5,401,158.01. Do I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Dale. It was a lot of, it was actually no, any project in specific. I think it was just a lot of bills that need to pay.
A lot of year-end, yeah.
We actually, we paid the New York State Retirement annual invoice. We paid in December to take advantage of the discount that you receive versus paying it in February. Yes, but thank you, Manuel.
Okay. Finance resolution regarding unpaid water and sewer charges. Whereas the village treasurer has presented to the Board of Trustees a statement setting forth the amounts of all delinquent unpaid water and sewer charges in arrears located in the village limits, including penalties, with the identification of the properties affected. And whereas pursuant with section 11-1118 of the village law, such water charges are a lien upon the premises effective thereby. And whereas pursuant with section 452 of the general municipal law, such sewer charges are a lien upon the premises effective thereby. I think I'm repeating myself. Thereby be it resolved that the pursuant with the section 11-1118 of the village law and section 452 of the general municipal law, the unpaid water and sewer charges plus penalties set forth and submitted by in a statement from the village treasurer be and at the same hereby are levied upon the property in default and added to the annual tax levy with respect to such properties. And be it further resolved that the amounts levied hereby shall be collected and enforced in the same manner in the same time as may be provided by law for the collection and enforcement of village taxes. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Any comments?
All in favor?
Aye.
Finance resolution regarding unpaid ETPA charges. Whereas pursuant with 2019 Housing Stability and Tenant Protection Act and the annual ETPA stabilization fee of $20 per unit, and whereas the village has received from New York Homes and Community Renewal an invoice for $8,880 based on the charge of $20 per unit for 444 eligible units, and whereas the village has assessed a surcharge in its administrative costs in connection with the ETPA program, and whereas by resolution dated September 2nd, 2020, The Board of Trustees authorized the village trustee to assess $5 per unit surcharge for each ETPA eligible unit. Have the Finance Department send out notices to the owners of the eligible units of the $5 surcharge, and the payment must be made to the Finance Department by a certain date, and that the after formation, notice shall advise owners of eligible ETPA units that if payment is not timely made, the outstanding amounts shall be added to a lien on the building's property tax bill. Now therefore be it resolved that pursuant with the September 2nd, 2020 resolution, the unpaid ETPA charges are set forth in an annexed list, are levied upon the listed properties and added to the annual tax levy with respect for such properties, and therefore be it resolved that the amounts to be levied hereby shall be collected and enforced in the same manner at the same time as provided by the law for the collection of the enforcement of village taxes. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4 different places, and the chart is posted on the wall of the clerk's office and also on the internet. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Sue?
All in favor?
Aye.
Finance resolution regarding overgrowth charges. Whereas a resolution dated November 6, 2024, the Board of Trustees determined that the below referenced costs shall be are just and reasonable and shall be included in the next annual tax levy for collection and enforcement in the same manner as village taxes. Now therefore be it resolved that the pursuant with section 88-11 of the code, the unpaid fees of cutting and removal are set forth the attachment of the village treasurer statement from the village treasurer, and be it further and be it some hereby are levied upon the property in default and are added to the annual tax levy with respect to such properties, and be it further resolved that the amounts hereby shall be collected and enforced in the same manner at the same time, and may be provided by law for the collection of the enforcement of village taxes. And there is one property. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution approving 2025 cabaret licenses in the Village of Austin. Whereas pursuant with Chapter 11 and 171 of the Code of the Village of Austin, the authorized representatives of the following business presented to the village clerk, the licensing officer, for 2025 cabaret licenses, and whereas pursuant with Section 100-3 and 100-5 of the code, the village clerk caused an investigation of said applications, and after receiving the results of the investigation from the Finance Department, the Building Department, and the Police Department, the applications were referred to the Board of Trustees for final approval. And whereas the Board of Trustees reviewed the application on the December 18th, 2024 meeting, now therefore be it resolved that pursuant with the code, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the cabaret licenses for the following business. Sing Sing Kill Brewery, 75 Spring Street, Austin, New York, Sunday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Friday and Saturday, 12 p.m. to 1 a.m. 19-hole Golf Simulator Corporation, 240 South Highland Avenue, Suite G, Austin, Monday through Sunday, 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Richie's Kitchen, 147 Austin, New York, Tuesday through Saturday, 12 p.m. through 10 p.m. Grace Hall, 7 Old Albany Post Road, Austin, New York, Monday through Sunday, 12 p.m. through 11 p.m. Austin Rest LLC, doing business as 3 Westerly Road, Austin, New York, Sunday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 12 a.m., and Friday and Saturday, 12 p.m. till 1 a.m. And Hudson Valley Books for Humanity, 67 Central Avenue, Austin, New York, Monday through Sunday, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? I'll make one. Stuart and Chief, do we have any issues with any of these that we should know about?
No issues were presented on any of these applications, Mayor.
And I think all the times are, did you say no?
Correct, yeah, no,
No issues, okay. And did you say that All of these follow what we've been doing, right? Like, I'm not seeing anything that's out of sync here.
No, and these are also consistent with those who had applied last year. These are
Right.
consistent with the times they got.
Oh, that's what we're doing, right? This is the time of the year?
Yes.
Okay.
We started the process in October so that we could have
We
as
have
many as
everybody.
possible done by the new year. Right.
Okay, we had an issue with somebody last year, but I don't see that being named here either. The
This is only the first group that,
first group.
right,
Okay, so there's more to come, is what you're saying,
or not,
or not?
or
Not,
not.
at this time, not have any applications further considered by the board. When they are, we'll,
I think, but are they all due now?
Yes.
well, if they wish to begin operating as of January 1 with a cabaret, the answer would be yes.
Yeah, missing some. Okay, well, it's on them, but
Yeah.
I don't want to
exactly.
go through what we did last year all over again. They're missing from here again. Okay, so these are the people that did what they were supposed to. Everything's cool.
These are the
All
people that were
timeline.
properly investigated and,
Okay.
yeah. everything.
All righty, we're in the middle of a vote. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
You guys discussed this last week in the work session, yeah? No, this is the first time we're
Mayor, we did
discussing
not.
it?
But you had indicated since you were
Right.
not here last week that it would.
Okay, so the Board of Trustees reviewed the application December 18th. It just, the grammar, like the sentence before review just seems a little odd to me. That's what caught my eye. Probably because too many grammar. Reviewed, then we discussed them. It's, you know what I mean? It's a
Mhm.
little strange, but if it's legally okay, then it's okay. We didn't review it until we looked at it farther down the path. Okay.
Resolution declaring certain village-owned vehicle as surplus. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Austin hereby declares the following vehicle as surplus equipment and authorizes their disposal in accordance with New York State law by sale or otherwise as is pursuant with the village's agreement with Auctions International, Inc. It's a 2017 Ford Explorer. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Authorization engagement of special counsel to represent the Village of Austin, whereas the Village of Austin received a verified notice of claim in the matter of Joseph P. Caputo Community Center, Clean Air Quality Service, Inc., complainant, and the Village versus the Village of Austin. And whereas the Corporation Council discussed the notice of claim with the Board of Trustees and recommended the engagement of Berkeley, Pat,
Bleakley, Platt, and Schmidt.
thank you, to represent the village's interest in connection with the claim, as well as any associated claims the village may have against Clean Air Quality Service, Inc. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes the engagement of Berkeley, Platt, and Blakely, Platt, and Schmidt, 1 North Livingston Avenue, Lexington Avenue, White Plains, New York, to represent the Village of Austin in the above reference claimed, as well as any associated claims the village may have against Clean Air Quality Service, Inc. And be it further resolved that following review of Corporation Council, the village manager is authorized to sign a December 9th retainer agreement with Blakely, Schmidt, Platt, and Schmidt. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second?
Any comments? Good?
All
Sue?
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Agreement with Motorola Solutions, Inc. Resolved that upon review of Corporation Council, the village manager is authorized to sign a contractual documentation with Motorola Solutions, Inc., 500 West Monroe Street, Suite 4400, Chicago, Illinois, for the purchase of a Motorola Flex suite of products providing computer-aided dispatch, CAD, and record management system, RMS, to the Austin Police Department. Be further resolved that the terms of agreement are detailed in the November 15th, 2024 proposal. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Any comments? Sue?
All in favor?
Aye.
Authorization to sign a letter of intent with Westchester County for 2026 hazardous mitigation planning. Resolved that upon Review of Corporation Council, the village manager is authorized to sign a letter of content as drafted by the Westchester County Department of Emergency Services, committing to a county-wide effort to update both the hazardous mitigation plan and the Village of Austin's local plan annex. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
The only thing is, I don't understand what this paragraph says, actually, happening here. Karen? Oh, Matt, sorry, didn't see you leaning in there.
Yep, not to worry. So this is something that the board, we did discuss it briefly at the work session last week, but just in summary, Westchester County is basically, not to use lead agency in the planning sense, but lead agency for the county's hazard mitigation plan. And so basically, they are the ones getting the grant funding from FEMA in order to enable the village and every other municipality in the county able to update our hazard mitigation plan as is required by federal law. So they basically drafted a letter of intent that we can slot our name and contact information into, and they'll be also provided with a certified copy of the resolution of the board. Basically, this commits us to staff time and a couple actions, which my understanding from our planner and engineering staff are requirements under the federal law anyway. So this is something we went through a couple years ago, but I think it's best practice to update it every 5 years. So we're on track to do that for 2026.
Got it. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is there any continuing business of the board? Is there any new business of the board? Are we going to executive session? No. Could I have a motion to adjourn from the legislative meeting?
So move.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are concluding our last meeting for.
We'll just take a vote first.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll do a vote.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And with that, we conclude our last meeting. Thank you, Madam Clerk. And we appreciate everybody following us. Always feel free to reach out to us. We thank Trustee Casada and former Deputy Mayor Casada, which I forgot to mention, for his services. We look forward to seeing everybody at the inauguration at 12 noon on New Year's Day, January 1st, at the Caputo Community Center. Have a great evening and a happy holidays to everybody.